Katie and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today I am doing a bookshelf tour because I recently reorganized all of my books. I've been wanting to get a new bookshelf and I was looking at IKEA to get the Billy bookshelves that like every booktuber has, but none of the IKEAs near me had them, and if they did, the delivery fee was like crazy. So I ended up buying a shelf from my friend Seth. And it's very different from the Billy bookshelves, but it's really cute, kind of looks like a ladder. And so I ended up reorganizing all my books, and I put all of the books on my physical TBR, so all the ones I own that I have not read, onto the shelf that I just bought from my friend. And then the shelves behind me that you typically see in my videos are all the books that I have already read, except for these two. These are also my physical TBR. So I'm gonna kind of show you around and let you know what I did differently, but I'm kind of obsessed. Also, I usually film in an office, but I ended up, because I got another shelf and it didn't fit in the office, I ended up putting my bookshelves in my living room, and it's so fun because I spend most of my time in my living room, so now I get to also spend that time with my books, and it's been so fun. Okay, so first, I know this is a weird angle and the lighting might be weird, but it's because, like I mentioned, we moved stuff from the office to the living room. So we're figuring out the lighting, and the shelf's really tall, so I'm on a step stool right now, and the camera's balancing on a couch. So, it's fine. But this is my TBR shelf. I wanted to organize all my books together that I haven't read yet, and hopefully that would make me want to read them before buying more books. Probably not, but fingers crossed. I don't know if you can tell, but I have... Oh, sorry, I'm on a step stool, like I said. This is the TBR jar that I made in my last TBR video, and I'm just keeping it up here. I feel like it looks really cute, and I have a bunch of Disney Doorables because I'm secretly like a child, but I love them. So that stays up there, and then I started, you can't really see, but I started with like the middle three shelves. I'll go down in a minute. Those are the ones that I'm like really excited to read. And then this shelf is a combination of fantasy and like romance and contemporaries that are all hardcovers that I'm also excited to read, but not as excited as the middle three shelves because I'm short, so I don't see this one as often. But for the fantasies, we have Curse of the Scepter Queen by Jenny Elder Moak. We have Into the Crooked Place by Alexander Christo. House of Dragons by Jessica Cluess, Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. We have Wings of Ebony by J.L., Rebel Rose by Emma Thierol, Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young, and then we have King of Scars and Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. And then for my contemporary section, we have Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet by Laken Zekemp. You Have a Match and When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord. I'm really excited to read those. The Geography of Lost Things by Jessica Brody. Prom Theory by... don't remember, and I'm not going to move all these. So, Labar, that's the last name. Then we have Don't Hate the Player by Ned. We have The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris, which I'm really going to try to read along with Wings of Ebony in February. We'll see if I get to them, but I feel like those would be great for Black History Month. Okay, so this shelf right here, these are all of the fantasies I'm the most excited to read, and I tried to put like hardcovers on the outside, paperbacks on the inside, just because I felt like it was more aesthetically pleasing. And this is my pirate corner. All of these are piratey vibes. I don't know why I said it like that, but this first one I'd actually never heard of until I went to Barnes & Noble for their 50% off hardcover sale. And this is called Crossbones, and it's by Kimberly Vale. It says Never Trust a Pirate on the cover, but it looks really cool. Apparently it was on Wattpad, but we'll see what I think about this. And then we have Fable and Namesake by Adrienne Young, and All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I just got that one for Christmas, and I'm super excited. Then I put some of my fantasy sequels. Hopefully I will eventually read them. We have A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir, The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, The Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen, and Blood and Honey by Shelby Marin. Can't say her last name. And then we have some of the more popular ones that I've seen on Book Talk. We have A Curse so Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, Pestilence by Lauren Thalassa, and Guild by Raven Kennedy. Oh, there's also Air Awakens by Elise Kova. And then here are the other hardcovers. There's Ember of Night by Molly E. Lee, Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, Where Your Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis, and Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. Okay, so here are two of the middle shelves that I'm really excited to read. I think the first one I put together was this one down here. I have my Mariana Zapata corner. We have Colty, Luna and the Lie, and All Roads Lead here. I am a sucker for Mariana Zapata. She writes the best slow burn romances, and slow burn is one of my favorite tropes, if not my favorite romance trope. And then here we have more of my spicy section. We have Neon Gods and 4 books in the, I can't remember what it's called, but we have Learned My Lesson, A Worthy Opponent, The Beast, and The Sea Witch. And then here are my Willow Winters books. I see her all over Book Talk, and my fiance bought me some of her books for Christmas. So I've read the first one, which is Dirty Dom, and then I don't know the actual names of these series, or of these books, because this is part of her discrete series. So she has discrete covers, and instead of putting the titles that could let people know they're spicy, she puts the characters' names, so you can't really tell. But this one is Vincent L., Kane and Ava, Tommy and Tanya, and then Anthony and Catherine. And then here I have the 2 Elle Kennedy books I have not read yet, The Play and the Dare from the Briar U series. We have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I'm so excited to read that. Maybe in February I will finally get to it. I've been wanting to read it since like August. We have Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Now that the movie came out, I am motivated more than ever to finally read that book. We have Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, Battle Royal by Lucy Parker, How Sweet It Is by Dylan Newton, and People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. And then back up here are some of the other romance and contemporaries that I'm really excited to read. These ones are like a little bit more emotional, like less spicy. A lot of these do have spice in them still though. But they give me more similar vibes. So here we have the Addicted Calloway Sisters books that I have not read yet. We have Thrive, Addicted After All, Kiss the Sky, Hot House Flower, Fuel to Fire, Long Way Down, and Some Kind of Perfect. I am really invested in this series. I'm really excited because I just finished Addicted for Now, and I finally get to start the Calloway Sisters series and see more of Rose, Connor, Daisy, and Reich. So I'm really excited to read Kiss the Sky next. I have my little Christina Lauren section. We have The Soulmate Equation and Love and Other Words. Then I just got Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, and I cannot wait to read it. I have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle, Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields, Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee, Donut Fall in Love by Jackie Lau, Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch, and Kisses and Croissants by Anne Sophie, I don't know how to say her last name. I'm going to show you the book because I can't pronounce it. But super cute. I think it takes place in France, and I love that. I've also been trying to learn French through Duolingo, so that's really unrelated to books, but just a fun fact. And then I know you can't really see this shelf too well, but that's okay because these are the ones I have the least hope for on this TBR shelf. I just have a mix of like fantasies and romance contemporaries that I might read if people convince me enough, but it's not a necessity. I'm not like excited about them. So this half are all my fantasies, this half are the contemporaries and romances. We have Crown of Feathers by Nikki Pau Prado, Cursed by Frank Miller and Thomas Wheeler. We have Wicked King and Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I probably will read this only because I read the other 3 and I just want to say that I finished the series. This series has been a roller coaster for me. I didn't really like book 1, loved book 2, I was really confused by book 3, and I just think I just want to finish it so I can check that off my list. We have Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, Nightblood by Ellie Blake. Then we have A Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. Moving on to our contemporary romance section, we have The Bromance Book Club by Lyssa K. Adams. That one I actually am a little excited for because I've heard people really love it, and it's about like these powerful men that decide to have this romance book club so they can like get relationship tips and know how to like please their women, and I feel like that's such a fun concept. Then we have The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. We have the entire To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jenny Han. We have Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. American Royals by Catherine McGee. I Love You So Mochi by, I think, Sarah Kuhn. And then we have Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz. So that is my entire TBR shelf here. I do have more TBR books on the top of my other shelves, so let's jump to it. Okay, so my physical TBR continues onto these shelves, and over here we have books that I don't really have any hope of getting to. I've had a lot of them for a while, and I just don't have that spark that most books give me. But if any of you love one of these books, let me know in the comments, convince me to read it. I'm not ready to get rid of them yet, but these will probably be some of the first to go. So let's go through those real quick. We have The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, Daughter of Sparta by Claire M. Andrews. That's one that I actually do think I'm going to read. It just didn't fit on my other TBR shelves. It's one of the newer ones, and I love mythological retellings, so I do have some hope for that one. Then we have The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett, Chain of Gold and City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. I definitely won't be reading these. I read the first 3 books of the Mortal Instruments series back in like high school or middle school and just never continued the series, but I bought Chain of Gold because it looked beautiful and I thought maybe it would spark my interest again, and it just never happened. Then we have Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, Empress of All Seasons by Amiko Jean. We have From Twinkle with Love and Of Curses and Kisses by Sandia Manon. Circe by Madeline Miller. I know that one might be a little controversial, but I enjoyed Song of Achilles, not as much as everybody else did, but I did enjoy it. But I've heard that that is way better than Circe, so it just isn't really making me want to read Circe. But that's why that one's over here. Then we have Slay by Brittany Morris, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, Wilder Girls by Rory Power, This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, and another controversial one. I probably won't read any more V.E. Schwab books. If I do, it'll probably be A Darker Shade of Magic, just because I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and just the writing style did not work for me at all. I can see why people love it. It's just not the type of writing that works for me, so I probably won't be reading any more of her books. Then we have Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith, All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater, Sadie by Courtney Summers, Strange the Dreamer by Lonnie Taylor. That one might be controversial too. I know people really like these books, but I've heard her writing is very flowery and descriptive, and I tend to avoid authors like that, so that's why I probably won't be getting to that one. The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I read like the first chapter forever ago and couldn't really get into it, so I put it down and I just haven't had the urge to pick it back up. And then the last one on the shelf is And I Darken by Kirsten White. Now, moving over here, these are all of the special edition books that I've received from subscription boxes, specifically like fairy loot boxes. So these are all the ones I haven't read yet, and then the ones I have read I've dispersed through the other shelves. But first we have From Blood and Ash, The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Then we have This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, After Love by Tanya Byrne, The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, Beasts of Prey by Anya Gray. Wow, that kind of rhymes. I've never really said that out loud before. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan Hey. Sorry, I'm really bad with names. A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. Year of the Reaper by Makia Lucier. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. This is the most recent one that I've received, and I'm really excited to read it. Then we have Sisters of the Snake by, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce their names, but let me show you the cover since I'm not gonna try to pronounce it so that, you know, they still get credit. Here's what it is. I know they're sisters, which is really fun. I don't think I've ever read a book by two sisters, so I'm really excited for that. We have The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, Fire with Fire by Destiny Soria, The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, and Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Tan. So after my TBR shelves, I ended up deciding to organize my books alphabetically, which is new to me. When I first started doing BookTube, my shelves were a rainbow because it was the most aesthetically pleasing. I thought it was really fun because covers were the first thing I would think of when I would think of a certain book. And I was not really good with remembering authors' names or book titles. But it was really hard to make it look aesthetically pleasing because I didn't really have enough of like yellow or orange books. I had way too many blues. Like it just didn't look right. So then I changed it to what they were before, and I had like my favorite fantasies on one shelf, my favorite romances on one shelf, and like kind of organized it like that. But it was really hard for me to find where I wanted to put new books that I got. So now it's just alphabetical. It's a lot less stressful for me because every book will have a place and I don't have to try to figure it out. So things are just organized alphabetically. These are all the books that I own that I've already read, and I really like it. It's kind of different, but I think I like it. The only exception is like over here, it goes through like G's and has some H's because somewhere in here is Stephanie Garber, and I have so many of her books. I have the entire Caraval trilogy, and then I have 5 copies of Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I wanted her to have her own little section. I'm not quite sure if you can see it. I think you can. So she has her own little section right here. So the alphabet is a little wonky because technically she should be over here in this area, but it wouldn't have fit. So we just kind of forgot the alphabet for a second. But other than that, it is in alphabetical order. So I had a lot of fun redoing this. I'm kind of obsessed, especially with my TBR shelf over there. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my bookshelf tour. I had a lot of fun showing you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.